Hey everyone, welcome to S-Biz Saturdays. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I'm streaming live on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Instagram. I was going to do Facebook, but my phone has been held hostage by my child. So there you go. I will not be able to make that happen. But welcome. I'm here to answer any of your business questions, of course. You could always submit your questions at qrco.de/successama, and I would be happy to get to your questions anytime for that. Let me see here. Let me go ahead and put up. If you thought of applying for my official program, please make sure you do that. You can go to successful.biz to apply to be a part of my program, where I teach you step by step on how to do all the things just to ensure your own personal success in this industry. With that said, let me see here. Today, it's all about what is in a business name. And if you are on my newsletter list, of course, that not only does that mean you get, codes and everything, discount codes to my classes and whatnot, but it also means that you've probably already heard about this already from my blog, or you might have read about it already. If not, I highly suggest you go ahead and do that. So one of the things that I was thinking about is, I wrote a blog last year, kind of like, what's in a name? Like, why do you need to have a name? Not why do you need to have a name? Of course you need to have a name, but, think about how your business name, it needs to be thoughtful. It needs to be impactful. It needs to be memorable, right? And so, I kind of revamped that one, because I was thinking about, how do you choose the perfect company or brand name? And, what does that actually look like in the long term? And so one of the things that is definitely needed is that you need to understand that your name can be very powerful. And so it's one of the most critical steps you're going to need in building your business, because it's the name that you're going to be attached to. So you really want to, set the tone for what are your values, your mission, your vision, for you and your business, how you want people to engage with your services, the products. And so when thinking about this, I was like, okay, there's 6 steps that you need in order for you to pick a name that you really love and trust and feel fantastic about, right? And so then step number 1 was really thinking about prioritizing simplicity and memorability, right? I remember my first logo that I had. I just, found these lips that I loved, and I just made it into a business card. It was beautiful and really kind of demure, really kind of fancy. And then because I started to notice the pattern around Facebook or Instagram. I was like, I want to see, I want my logo to be like an app logo. You know what I mean? Something simple, unique, and easy to do, right? So so one of the things that I was thinking about was, how does it look like? How does it relate? So just think about, when you are thinking about your name, just prioritizing simplicity, memorability, keeping it short and sweet, so not a long name. Making sure you have clear spelling. I know a lot of times we like to misspell things, especially as we're trying to get through filters and whatnot, but we really do want to have clear spelling so people can easily find us, when we're out on the internet. But when you're brainstorming, it's super helpful to say the names out loud, say them if they're like tricky to pronounce or awkward, or it's hard to like explain what they mean like over the phone. Usually they're likely not ideal. So this is something to really think about as you start naming your business, and even naming some of your programs within your business. So say like you want to do certain programs, it's really important to think about what you want to convey. Step 2 is really thinking about consider sort of credit card discretion, right? Like using abbreviations is going to be helpful. So instead of like intimate wellness coaching, maybe you want to say IWC consulting, or, instead of Central Arts Academy, try SAA services or something like that. For SDS, for Sex Down South, we had to do SDS conferences, right? So really thinking about ways to make things more family friendly or less recognizable, or that doesn't necessarily stand out, is going to be one of the best assets that you could bring to yourself when you're thinking about your business, right? Number 3 is creating a story for your brand name. So like when you're going to go on podcasts, you're going to have media appearances, maybe on a radio show, be interviewed by people, you really need to have your story, right? You need the short and dirty version of your story, and then you need the longer version of your story that has like life lessons and all the things, right? So thinking about your story is going to be super, super helpful. A really good person to go to for storytelling coaching, body storytelling, Dixie, is so wonderful at being able to sort of pick out the elements needed for your story. But thinking about, your why, what inspired you to start your business, who your audience is, like who do you want to serve, how do you want them to feel about your brand, and then your overall sort of mission and vision, right? Like how does your name actually reflect the goals that you want to connect to with the people, right? So you may want to maybe go with like my name, Velvet Lips, right? It's ambiguous enough, but it's kind of like, hey, what lips are you actually talking about here? So there's some kind of mysteriousness to it. And so I think that also helps with these types of elements, okay? In addition, you want to, again, I've talked about this before so many times, stay meta friendly, right? Like you really want to be meta friendly. Unfortunately, that's where we got to be at right now. It's not our platform. I don't own the platform. So just ensure that your name is meta friendly, like using really explicit terms, language, things that like even that say pleasure we know that are going to be, shadow banned. So this is something that we don't want to do. So you might want to use euphemisms or abstract imagery. But other ways to do this is really just to test your name too, by running maybe hypothetical ads or, creating a draft profile. In addition, you want to use my hashtag system to see if it passes the test. And if you don't know my hashtag system, please make sure you check that out in my shadow ban guide, my shadow ban survivor guide. So that is a survival guide. So what you need to do is you can just go to velvetlips.kit.com, or you can just go to my pillar link, and you can get that shadow ban survival guide, and that is absolutely free to get. So please make sure you get that to understand what the hashtag system is and why it's important when you are running your business, especially on these platforms. So you really just don't want to be suppressed. I was just with Paola yesterday. We went out for afternoon because we have an event called The Taste of Kink in Miami on February 8th. Super excited. DM me for a discount code. And when we were talking, she was telling me about, her marketing and I was really kind of like, let me see what's going on with your page, right? And so I like went to her accounts, looked at like, oh, hey, this is what's happening with your account. This is what's going on. These are the things you need to change. So she finally was like, oh my gosh, like all of these things. But seriously, if you haven't taken my class, like Metaproof Your Social Media Marketing, you need to go ahead and do that, because I'm really strategically giving you the tips on how you can understand your social media better so that you aren't being shadow banned or suppressed. Step 5 is choosing a timeless name, right? You want a name that will be there for the ages. Will this name still be appropriate in 5, 10, 20 years, right? Is this still in alignment with where your business is heading? Is it adaptable if your business evolves into something different, right? So really taking this into consideration is super, super important. An example I gave was the Pleasure Collective, right? Might work as a name for a company offering, sexual wellness workshops now, but it's also broad enough to encompass like books or retreats or online courses, right? Like there's a broader way of looking through that if you wanted to make this scalable. So, thinking about a timeless name it should be very, very important. And then also, step 6 is test it. Test it before you commit. Look it up. Make sure that it feels like a good fit for you. Super, super important to think about these things when you're, again, thinking about the name that you want to move towards. As we're going into this new regime, we have to test it. You have to test it. So, and before you even finalize your company name, you want to Google it and make sure no one else is using that name. You want to maybe do a domain check or get that domain, see if it's available for your site, right? Feedback, right? From colleagues, friends, mentors for their thoughts about the name. Because sometimes your name might be maybe a little much, or it won't bypass the filters for whatever reason. So make sure you check with your friends, colleagues, to understand like the feedback and if the name actually portrays what you want to get across. And then of course, make sure you do a trademark search, so to ensure the name isn't already trademarked or copyrighted and whatnot. So you want to be able to do these things to ensure your success, right? So that is what I have today. But, again, choosing the right name, it's a powerful first step in creating a successful business, right? Whether you're focusing on discretion or memorability or meta compliance, a well thought out name can set you up for long-term success. So again, take your time, be intentional, and remember that your name is your business's identity. You really want to make it count. So that is all that I have for you all today. But again, if you want to apply for my program, please check out successful.biz. You can apply today. Get your free shadow ban survival guide at qrco.de/shadowban guide. And of course, if you have questions for the future, I am happy to answer those questions for you. So with that said, let me check to see if I got any questions. I did not get any questions today. I'm looking at all the chats, looking at the gram, looking at YouTube, all the things. Okay. All right. So I think that's it today, but please make sure you check out all of those things that I have going on. Next week, we are going to be talking about business structure, right? LLC, nonprofit, what do you want to do? A sole proprietorship? What is it that you want to get up? All right, then move. You in my way. Go into the living room. I'll meet you in there. You want to think about your business structure. So thinking about sort of the ways that like, a lot of people say like, should I do a nonprofit, or, what kind of business structure should I have? And I just want to say it's just super, super important that you understand like the business structure, and that you choose the best for you. So with that said,
Oh no, you suck.
okay, there you go. All right, go into the living room. I'll see you. Okay, I'm getting pushed out here. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's lovely to see some faces on here, and I will see you all next Saturday. All right, cheers to your professional success. Bye, y'all.